Hi, welcome to 2020 Tasty Treats with GourmetQuilter. I'm Susan Clare, GourmetQuilter, and we're having a whole lot of fun in 2020 with 20 different series of things, and this is one of them. This is an applique series. We're doing 20 different house appliques in this series, and as you can see, our village is pretty full. We've even got a little model village in there as well. So we've just got one more space in our village square, and that's for the number 20. So we are on our final house applique block this time. This is the last one in this series. If you're interested in the pattern, there's a pattern available and more information on GourmetQuilter.com. The patterns are downloadable each day and the video each day. And the patterns all have shapes that are ready for tracing. We're using the fusible web for the applique. So this one here is quite a long. It was possibly one house at one stage and was divided up and converted at one end. I don't really know how it came about. However, it's got one long roof line and two chimneys, but they do change colours because they now have different owners. So perhaps they've re-roofed their section, they've repainted their houses, who knows. So what we've got here is I've already placed the wall under here. So we've positioned these bits here so the wall is underlapping, so that it just sits nicely, and we're going to do the same thing with the roof. So I've got the doors and windows already in place, and then we've got to pop this roof on this side, and that also is going to overlap. So you just need to make sure there's going to be enough room to fit height-wise and side to side. It fairly well fills this block. So I want this roof to line up with the wall, and it should do all that and overlap the top part of that house there, and it should all be looking fairly straight that way. Not too bad, I think. Now the other thing is this one has got an extra little piece inside the chimney here. Sometimes you see chimneys with these extra, I don't know what they call them, but this one's got one. So it's a slightly different shade, and I think that's all looking pretty good. They're obviously sharing a common wall. As I said, it may have been a conversion at some stage, or possibly it was built that way. I just don't know. So I'm just going to iron everything in place, and then because I'm free motion stitching, I'm going to pop a stabilizer behind, and I'm using a cotton batting as my stabilizer. It sits there really nicely and gives you really nice stitching when you're doing free motion stitching, or any other stitching for that matter. But free motion in particular does require some form of stabilizer. So I'll go to the sewing machine. I've got that set up to do free motion. I've dropped my feed teeth. I've got a little open toe free motion foot on. And so we're sort of doing two separate houses. So we can go ahead and start doing around the door and maybe stopping here, because this house fabric was sitting in front of this one. So we'll treat that as a front house, and this one is just ever so slightly behind. However, it probably doesn't make a huge amount of difference. We could probably do the roofs all at once and things like that. So I think I'm just going to start maybe actually on this larger one and come down from the roof here and come along, and then the windows will have to be done separately. So I'm just outlining just close to the edge of that applique with a free motion straight stitch, and the stitch length is just governed by how fast I move the fabric with the machine running. It's just close to the edge on the applique. And then when we do the doors, we can include the doors at this stage, which is really good to get those done too. So generally speaking, this is fairly straightforward. The same sort of stitching everywhere. So I might continue on and come back and show you a little bit nearer the end. So I've done all the windows and I've done the roof at the smaller house end, and I'm just coming around now the roof of the larger one, which has got that chimney pot in it. So when I'm doing a chimney, I quite often will come straight across, because the roof line probably does come straight across. And then I'd come up and do the chimney. And now I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to go straight across the top there, but then I'm going to come and do this little top bit. And then we can come back down here, and come across here again, and then we're back on track with the roof. And then we've just got to come down here where the roof joins, because I've already done this other roof here. And there we have our house with a common wall. I hope that wall is nice and soundproof, so that they can make lots of noise without disturbing their neighbours. And so this has been a whole fun series. We've got a whole village up on the wall here, including its own little model village. And this is the final one in this series. This is house block number 20 of our 2020 Tasty Treats house applique. So I do hope you've enjoyed that. I've enjoyed doing it, and please do make lots of houses, embellish them, have fun with those roofs, enjoy the houses, and I will see you again perhaps in another series.